eyes gleamed with mischief. It snorted and darted between the oaks. Drawn by curiosity, Dracula chased after the boar. The creature zipped through brambles, weaving left and right, never quite letting him catch up. The world around Dracula began to twist. Trees bent into spirals, and the sky melted into hues of violet and emerald. Suddenly, he tripped. The ground vanished beneath him. Dracula hurtled down, tumbling head over cape, until he landed ungracefully in a field of enormous blue toadstools. Groggy, Dracula stood up and looked around. Everything pulsated with strange life. Flowers whispered secrets, and giant butterflies painted the air with shimmering trails. He realized he was no longer in Transylvania. This was Wonderland. Recollecting the boar, Dracula struck out deeper into Wonderland. He felt exposed without the familiar night. This place, wildly colorful, was nothing like the comfortable gloom of home. Shadows danced between leaves, and laughter echoed from somewhere unseen. As he tiptoed through a patch of singing daffodils, a red-faced rabbit in a velvet coat stopped him. Dracula explained he was searching for a boar, and for a way home. The rabbit, skeptical, muttered, "Trust is rare here, but perhaps you'll prove different." He handed Dracula a riddle written on a leaf. Dracula puzzled over the riddle. To find your way, you must first lose pride. Greet the mocking twins where the sun and moon collide. With a sigh, he decided to embark on yet another hunt, this time for the elusive twins. The forest thickened, colors turning deeper and shadows sharper. Dracula faced odd obstacles, mushrooms that flipped him upside down, mirrors that reflected his fears, illusions tempting him to turn back. At every step, frustration mounted. He missed home more than he'd admit. Finally, at a clearing where lavender daylight mingled with midnight blue, Dracula met the mocking twins. They mirrored each other's movements perfectly, one sunny-haired, one with dark tresses. They teased him, echoing his words and doubts, before challenging him to outwit their riddles. "Why do you chase what disappears?" asked the dark twin. Dracula thought deeply and replied, "Because sometimes the chase reveals more than the prize ever could." The twins grinned, approving, and linked hands. A path shimmered into existence before him, paved with moonlit stones. Following the path, Dracula finally glimpsed the silvery boar waiting beside a swirling portal. Its eyes met his, mischievous and wise. Dracula hesitated, recalling his journey, the tricks, the challenges, the insight he'd gained about himself. The boar bowed its head in respect, and Dracula realized he'd never have made it back without chasing after what he didn't understand. Wonderland had transformed him. He was braver, less self-absorbed, and, dare he say it, wiser. Stepping through the portal alongside the boar, Dracula landed gently beneath the familiar haunted trees of his homeland. The forest no longer felt so suffocating. He grinned at the moon overhead, remembering Wonderland's chaos. He didn't know if the boar would appear again, or if Wonderland was real or simply a strange dream. Dracula quietly promised himself he'd keep chasing the mysteries, not to escape, but to discover what else the world had to teach. And with that, the young count disappeared into the twilight, his heart